The Great Kapok Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest by Lynn Cherry. In the Amazon rainforest, it is always hot, and in that heat, everything grows and grows and grows. The tops of the trees in the rainforest are called the canopy. The canopy is a sunny place that touches the sky. The animals that live there like lots of light. Colorful parrots fly from tree to tree. Monkeys leap from branch to branch. The bottom of the rainforest is called the understory. The animals that live in the understory like darkness. There, silent snakes curl around hanging vines. Graceful jaguars watch and wait.
And in this steamy environment, the great kapok tree shoots up through the rainforest and emerges above the canopy. This is the story of a community of animals that live in one such tree in the rainforest.
Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to a great kapok tree. Then he left.
The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear.
Senor, this tree is a tree of metal. It is my home for generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not stop it now.
A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear.
Senor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another.
A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man.
Senor, we have seen the ways of men. You chop down one tree, then you'll come back for another and another.
The rest of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing to hold the earth in place. When the heavy rain comes, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert.
A toucan, a macaw, and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy.
Senor, do not chop down this tree. I have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop them down. Many people settle on a land, they set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest will disappear.
Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain.
Two bright and small tree frogs crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, they piped in the man's ear.
Senor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives, many ruined lives.
You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree.
A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because her spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed her. Now she leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man. She growled in his ear.
Senor, the kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner?
3 tree porcupines swung down from branch to branch and whispered to the man.
Senor, do not animals and humans need air to live?
Oxygen.
Senor, do you know what trees produce?
Oxygen. If you cut down the forest, you'll destroy that which gives us all life.
Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their back. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man,
Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future.
And surely you know what happens tomorrow depends on what you do today.
The man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children who tomorrow must live in a world without trees.
A three-toed sloth had begun climbing down from the canopy when the man first appeared. Only now did he reach the ground. Plodding ever so slowly to the sleeping man, he spoke in his deep and lazy voice.
Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? You destroy the beauty of the rainforest. What would you? What will you feast your eyes on?
A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. She murmured in his ear,
Senor, when you awake, please look upon us all with new eyes.
The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him staring were the creatures who depended upon the great kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were.
The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree.
The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor, but he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent.
The man picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree. Suddenly, he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child.
He hesitated, then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest.
I'm Michael Pitzel, and I was a narrator.
I'm Autumn Devery, and I was another narrator.
I'm Sophie Fisher, and I was the child. I'm Brandon Johnson, and I was the boa constrictor.
I was Cadence, and I was the macaw.
I'm Jasmine Towns, and I was a toucan.
I'm Jasmine Hansen, and I was a tree frog.
I'm Garrett, and I was an anteater. I'm Mason Smith, and I was the cock of the rock.
I'm Joey Clark, and I am a monkey.
I'm Ryan Stoss, and I was an anteater. I'm Isaac, and I was a porcupine. I'm Zach, I was a bee.
I'm Madison Lozinski, I was the jaguar.
I'm Sophia, and I was an anteater.
I'm Kayla, and I was a tree frog.
I'm Logan, and I was a sloth. I was Chase, I was a monkey and a man. I'm Chase, I'm Carlos, and I was a sticky man. I'm Devin Hansen, and I was a porcupine.
I'm Peyton, and I was a porcupine.